Marina started changing long before the night. Everything fell apart. At first, it was subtle. Late nights at work. More makeup. Less conversation. Her phone was always upside down on the table. She smiled less when I came home. I told myself it was stress, maybe burnout. But deep down, I knew something was off. She used to text me every afternoon. Now hours passed with nothing. When I asked, she said I was being paranoid. That word stuck with me. Paranoid. It's what people say when they're hiding something. She started going to the gym 5 days a week. 4-hour sessions that didn't make sense. She came home smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. When I joked about her trainer, she laughed too hard. Said I should trust her. And I did, until the lies started showing through. She guarded her phone like it held state secrets. Password changed. Notifications off. Always smiling at something she wouldn't explain. One night, she left her iPad on the couch. A message popped up. Just a name. Jake. I didn't read it, but I didn't need to. Her eyes gave it away when I asked who he was. She froze for a second too long. Said he was just helping her with form. Right. Helping her form for hours every night. Still, I stayed quiet. Because I had kids. Because I wanted to believe it wasn't real. But silence doesn't stop a lie. It feeds it. She grew distant, colder, sharper with her words. Every small argument became a weapon. She said I was angry too often. Said I made her feel unsafe. That word scared me more than anything. Unsafe. It was like she was building a script. A story where she was the victim. And I was the monster. Friends started acting weird around me. Her sister stopped visiting. Her mother kept calling to check on the kids. I didn't see it yet, but the stage was being set. Marina wasn't just cheating. She was preparing her exit. And not just any exit. One that would leave me destroyed. I caught her whispering on the phone one night. When she saw me, she hung up fast. Said it was a client. But her hands were shaking. I tried to hold on. Tried to fix what was already broken. I thought love could outweigh betrayal. I was wrong. A few weeks later, she started saying I scared her. That I yelled too much. I didn't. But she said it often enough that I started doubting myself. She told her friends I had a temper. Told her mom I slammed doors. It was all part of the plan. A narrative built word by word. A trap laid with smiles and sympathy. And I walked right into it. Because I still loved her. Because I never thought someone you share a bed with could be plotting your downfall. But she was. Every smile was a setup. Every tear was rehearsed. And by the time I saw it clearly, it was already too late. The night it happened started like any other. I came home from work tired but calm. The kids were watching cartoons. Marina said she had a headache and went to bed early. Nothing felt strange. Dinner was quiet. The air felt heavy, though I couldn't say why. I kissed the kids goodnight and sat on the couch. Half an hour later, there was a knock at the door. Not gentle. Loud. Authoritative. 2 police officers stood outside. They asked if they could come in. I thought it was a mistake. Then I saw Marina standing behind them. Eyes red. Hands shaking. She looked terrified, like she'd seen a ghost. One officer said there was a report of domestic assault. My brain froze. I laughed, confused. I said, there must be some mistake. Marina whispered, I just didn't know what else to do. That sentence still echoes in my head. They didn't ask for proof. They didn't look for bruises. They just turned me around and put me in cuffs. My daughter screamed my name. My son cried. Marina stood in the hallway, pretending to sob. Her hands covered her face, but I could see her eyes. She was watching. Calculating. I said nothing, because in that moment, nothing I said mattered. Guilt had already been decided. They took me out barefoot into the cold night. Neighbors peeked through windows. The world I built collapsed with each flash of blue light. At the station, they read me my rights. I sat there numb. I didn't ask for a lawyer. I didn't even ask why. Because deep down I knew. This was her plan. This was how she'd win. They put me in a cell with 2 other men. One snored. One stared at the floor. No one spoke. Time slowed to a crawl. I thought about my kids. About how they must have seen everything. I thought about Marina lying to them. Telling them Daddy did something bad. 46 days. That's how long I stayed locked up. 46 days of silence, confusion, and rage. My lawyer was young and unsure. He asked if I wanted to make a deal. I told him no. I didn't do anything. But truth doesn't matter in a system that loves a headline. My brother sent one text. I need space. My mom didn't call. My friends stopped replying. I was alone. Utterly alone. At night, I replayed everything. Every word she said. Every glance I missed. I realized she'd been building this lie for months. Piece by piece. Every argument. Every accusation. She had been preparing this moment. And I had walked right into it. But jail changes a man. It strips you down to bone and fury. When I got out on bond, something in me had shifted. I wasn't broken anymore. I was focused. Because Marina thought she'd buried me. But I was still breathing. And I was about to dig my way back, with proof. When I got out, I had nothing left. No home. No job. No family who believed me. My dad was the only one waiting outside. He handed me a jacket and said, "Prove them wrong." Those 3 words became my mission. I went straight to the house. She changed the locks, but she forgot one thing. The old desktop in the garage still had my login. She used to sync her iCloud there. And she never logged out. The moment the screen lit up, I saw her name. Folders. Photos. Messages. Dozens of them. I started reading. It felt like watching my own life burn in slow motion. Texts between her and Jake. Naked photos. Voice memos calling him her real husband. But that wasn't the worst part. There were notes. Plans. A digital diary of her entire setup. She wrote about making it believable. She wrote about crying on cue. She even drafted texts to send to friends about my anger. Every word was calculated. Every lie rehearsed. I copied everything. Every image. Every timestamp. I saved them on a drive, then another, then emailed them to myself. I wasn't going to lose this evidence. Not again. Her downfall was buried in her own vanity. She documented everything to feel clever. And that was going to destroy her. I spent nights combing through the files. Cross-checking dates. Linking her messages with receipts. One text said, "He'll be home at 8, that's perfect timing." That was the night she called the cops. The night she claimed I pinned her to a wall. Meanwhile, her Uber receipt showed she was at a hotel with Jake. I felt sick reading it. Not because of the betrayal. Because of how easy it was for her. She played the victim so naturally, like she'd practiced it her whole life. My lawyer didn't believe me at first. Until I brought him the files. He read the messages twice. Then looked up and said, "We can win this." For the first time, I felt something close to hope. But this wasn't about hope anymore. It was war. And I was done being the quiet one. I started printing everything. Hundreds of pages. Dates. Screenshots. Call logs. Security footage. The night she said I attacked her, the camera showed her staging it. Knocking over the lamp. crying into her hands before calling the police. The proof was undeniable. I organized it into binders. Labeled. Indexed. Ready for court. Every lie she told had a counterpoint in ink. Every accusation had a timestamp to crush it. I didn't sleep much those weeks. Didn't need to. Anger kept me awake. But it wasn't blind rage anymore. It was focused. Controlled. Cold. She thought I was finished. She thought she'd erased me. But I was building something she couldn't escape from. Not a story. Not a rumor. The truth. And once the truth comes out, there's no hiding from it. The court hearing came faster than I expected. I walked in wearing the same suit I wore to my wedding. It felt poetic somehow. Marina was already there. Perfect hair. Soft makeup. Pretending to be the wounded wife. She wouldn't even look at me. Her lawyer smiled like this was already over. They thought I'd crumble. They thought I'd beg. But I was done begging. When the judge entered, the air went still. Marina's lawyer started first. He called me unstable. Said I had anger issues. Said Marina feared for her safety. No proof. Just words. They spoke like they'd already won. Then it was our turn. My lawyer stood up, calm and steady. He opened the binder we'd built together. Your Honor, he said, we have evidence. He handed out copies of the text messages. Her words filled the courtroom. Messages about timing it right. About making it believable. About protecting the assets. The judge read in silence. Her face changed. First pale. Then panic. She tried to interrupt. Her lawyer objected. The judge told them both to sit. Next came the GPS data. The night she said I hit her, she wasn't even home. She was at the Hilton with Jake. There was an Uber receipt to prove it. My lawyer handed it to the clerk. You could hear people whisper. Then came the video. The one from the living room. The lights dimmed. There she was on screen. Knocking over the lamp. Faking her tears. Walking out to make the call. The silence afterward was suffocating. Her lawyer leaned back, speechless. Marina tried to cry again, but it didn't work this time. No one believed her anymore. The judge looked right at her and said nothing. That silence said everything. By the end of the session, the tone had shifted. I wasn't the abuser anymore. I was the proof. Her entire story collapsed under her own words. The judge ordered a full review of the custody case. Temporary custody was granted to me. Marina got supervised visits only. 1 hour a week. Paid from her own pocket. I didn't celebrate. I just exhaled. After months of humiliation, the truth finally breathed. The world started seeing her for who she really was. Her family stopped calling. Her job placed her on leave. Jake disappeared from her life. She tried to save face online. Posted quotes about healing and forgiveness. No one cared anymore. The mask was gone. The next day, I sent her employer the court transcript. No message attached. Just facts. Cold, clean truth. By the end of the week, she was suspended. Her world cracked piece by piece. And all I did was show the truth. No lies. No shouting. Just evidence. For the first time in months, I felt free. Because justice doesn't need noise. It only needs proof. And I had plenty of that. After the hearing, Marina's world began to crumble. Her company put her on indefinite leave. Clients pulled out of projects. Her picture-perfect life was collapsing in slow motion. She tried to message me, saying we should talk for the kids. I didn't reply. There was nothing left to say. Jake dumped her right after the court ruling. Apparently, he didn't want to date someone known for lying under oath. He blocked her everywhere. She started posting online again. Quotes about mental health and forgiveness. No one believed her anymore. Comments disappeared. Friends unfollowed. Sympathy doesn't survive when the truth is public. Meanwhile, my lawyer and I filed a civil lawsuit. Defamation. Emotional distress. Financial loss. Every dollar she cost me, we documented. Lost contracts. Therapy bills. Legal fees. Rent after being locked out of my own home. We calculated everything. The total was $188,000. We didn't round up. We itemized it all. Her side tried to negotiate. They offered to drop her custody appeal if I withdrew the suit. I said no. That offer expired the night she watched me in handcuffs. We went to court again. This time, she looked smaller. No makeup. No confidence. Just fear. Her lawyer argued it wasn't malicious. That she was emotionally unstable. The judge didn't buy it. He looked through her fake messages. Read her words about how she'd end me before I took the house. He said, "This isn't distress, this is intent." The room went silent. The ruling came 2 weeks later. I won. The court ordered her to pay the full amount plus interest. Her marketing license was suspended, pending ethics review. The story spread quietly through professional circles. A textbook case of perjury and false claims. Her name became a warning. She couldn't find work anywhere. Every job background check brought up the ruling. Every interview ended before it started. Her parents called me, begging me to show mercy. I told them she had shown none to me. They hung up crying. I didn't feel joy. Just closure. Justice doesn't always feel good. It just feels right. She tried to appeal. The court denied it. Then she tried filing for bankruptcy. We objected. Malicious damages can't be erased. The judge agreed. Her debt stayed. Permanent. She would spend years paying for her lies. And I didn't lift a finger to destroy her. I just documented the truth. Now the same system she used against me was her prison. No bars. No guards. Just paperwork. Cold and permanent. The same way she wanted my downfall. Except this time it was hers. She called it karma. I called it justice. Because the truth doesn't need revenge. It just waits for the right moment to speak. Life after the storm was quieter than I expected. I moved to a small house on the edge of town. 3 bedrooms, a small yard, nothing fancy. But it was mine. The air felt different there. Clean. Still. No shouting. No fear. Just peace. My kids adjusted faster than I did. They laughed again. They slept through the night. Their teachers said they seemed lighter. Freer. I didn't realize how much tension they carried until it was gone. I rebuilt my business from the ground up. Changed the name. Rebranded. Every dollar from the lawsuit went back into it. New tools. New equipment. New start. Kevin, my old coworker, became my partner. He stayed when everyone else ran. Loyalty like that doesn't fade. We worked hard. Long nights. No drama. No lies. Just progress. Business grew slowly, then all at once. Clients returned. People respected what I'd survived. Not out of pity. Out of truth. They saw the court records. They saw I fought back the right way. That mattered. My kids became my world. I took them to school every morning. Helped with homework. Tucked them in at night. Their laughter became my therapy. Marina's visits were supervised by court order. 1 hour a week. She tried to act calm, polite, even warm. But it was hollow. The kids were distant, polite but cold. They saw more than I thought. I never spoke badly about her. I didn't need to. Children sense the truth, even when no one explains it. Marina started falling apart. Behind on payments. Behind on life. She jumped from city to city trying to outrun her own name. But court records don't fade. They follow you everywhere. She filed for jobs. They Googled her. Then rejected her. I heard she tried posting again online. Something about redemption and strength. No one cared. No one listened. Her story was over. She became background noise in a world that moved on. Meanwhile, my world kept growing. I fixed my relationship slowly. My mom came back around. She cried the first time she saw the new house. Said she was sorry. I didn't say much. Trust is fragile when it's been broken. But I let her visit the kids. That was enough. My brother never called. He sent a letter once. I burned it. Not out of anger. Out of clarity. Some things can't be rebuilt. And I've stopped trying to fix people who left me to rot. Now I wake up early. Make breakfast. Open the shop. The routine feels good. Simple. Honest. The noise is gone. The lies are gone. All that's left is life. Real life. Quiet, steady, earned. She tried to destroy me, but I endured. And in that endurance, I found something better than revenge. Peace. A year later, the noise finally stopped. No rumors. No lies. Just quiet. I wake up before sunrise and make coffee. The kids laugh in the kitchen. The house feels alive again. I look around and realize I rebuilt everything she tried to burn. Not with anger. With patience. With proof. With time. Marina still exists somewhere out there. Different city. Different story. But every new start she tries begins with a search bar. And my name appears beside hers. Court records. Judgments. Facts that never fade. That's not revenge. That's truth doing its job. I don't wish her pain. I don't wish her peace either. I just don't think about her anymore. Because she doesn't matter now. What matters are the small things. A clean home. A steady business. 2 happy kids. And the sound of silence that doesn't hurt anymore. I didn't win by fighting louder. I won by outlasting the lie. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. And I've learned to listen to that quiet.